Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Lloydminster is Canada's only border city, but we always strive to have our city as a singular, seamless entity, and where provincial disparities arise, our government in the city has always worked with provincial governments to minimize or eliminate them. Now, for decades, the Saskatchewan government has foregone collection of the provincial sales tax from businesses on the east side of Lloydminster so that they can compete on an equal playing field with those on the Alberta side, but coming soon, the NDP carbon levy. To the Minister of Finance, did your department give any consideration of the inequities that your carbon tax will create in Lloydminster?
Minister of Finance.
You know, the inequity of, what we've concluded is that Alberta still will have a $7.5 billion tax advantage over all provinces. So we believe that we still have a really great Alberta tax advantage. Lloydminsterites, Lloydminsterans, people from Lloydminster, will continue to enjoy that tax advantage like the rest of Alberta because this is the lowest tax jurisdiction in the country.
First supplemental.
Well, Mr. Speaker, you're welcome for that thing that you inherited from us, but given that 2017 is only 19 days away, and given that Alberta fuel dealers in Lloydminster are gravely concerned that their customers will flee across Meridian Avenue to get away from the soon-to-be imposed NDP carbon tax, and given that the Saskatchewan government has always taken action to keep businesses on their side of the border competitive, to the Minister. Meetings have been held and people are waiting anxiously. What specific actions are you taking to support Alberta businesses in Lloydminster?
Minister of Environment and Parks.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you to the honourable member for the question. We will follow up with the specifics of the questions he has asked and further point out that there is, in fact, no PST in Alberta. Thank you.
Second supplemental.
Mr. Speaker, I'll point out to both ministers that they've met and people from their departments have met and people are waiting. So the businesses on the Alberta side of Lloydminster have historically had an advantage over the Saskatchewan side, and the Saskatchewan government has always stepped up to ensure that businesses on their side of the board remain competitive, and that this NDP government has in 19 short months completely turned the tables to where it is now better to operate on the east side of the 4th Meridian to the Premier. Residents have worked hard to keep the two halves of Lloydminster joined together. Why is your government tearing us asunder?
Minister of Economic Development and Trade.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and actually the premise of the member's question is quite off. Number one, Alberta continues to remain the lowest tax jurisdiction in the country. We've, as of January 1st, our government has reduced the small business tax to the second lowest in the country and much lower than Saskatchewan, Mr. Speaker. As well, we don't have a PST, and as the Minister of Finance pointed out, even with our carbon levy coming in, Alberta is $7.5 billion cheaper, and I'm wondering what Saskatchewan is going to do when Ottawa imposes a carbon levy on that province, Mr. Speaker.